Alright, just a quickie for you guys. Once you get the ALDA off, you need like a 24 millimeter and like some other millimeter. So you need like a thin wrench to get it off, and like another sort of thin wrench. I don't remember the sizes. I use Kemper's mesh wrenches, and I put them in the car. They're like in there. More on that later. So I'm not getting out. Anyway, so this is how the ALDA works. So it goes together like this, right? And inside you have these two wafers which oppose each other. So this wafer sits in there like that, and that's where your idle adjustment screws. So it screws on like that. So this actually rotates as you adjust it. So that kind of sits like that, right? And then with this being under, this wafer sits like that. So they kind of oppose each other, I guess, if you will. So what happens is you get a boost going into there, and it's going to cause those wafers to move. And what it's essentially going to do is it's going to cause this one to lift off of that rod, which goes into the injection pump. There's a rod that sticks out where the ALDA sits on top of. The ALDA, you know, the rod's like, it like goes in there. So once this lifts up, it allows the injection pump full fuel. And then when you set this sets a base mixture for when you're not in boost. So there's a O-ring. I don't remember what size I think this thing is like in the shape of a square. I don't know. Oh yeah, so quick interruption, someone to talk to me. Anyway, yeah, so this O-ring, it's like a square. I don't know if it's supposed to be, because you know how these O-rings, they change shape over time. This is the one I bought. I went to Ace Hardware. It was too small, and the O-ring was a little bit too thick, so it kind of slowly wanted to pop out. So one that's like slightly bigger than this should work, and that bigger O-ring sits in here. I was able to, like, you know, kind of push it in there and got it to be pretty secure. And then I put some high tack on it, you know, to solidify carefully. I wasn't just like being all sloppy with the high tack. And then there's a little sealing ring in here. That's what that looks like. So it sits in there like that. Just the issue is it's kind of a unique design. So when I rebuilt mine, this by the way, this is a donor ALDA. I have another one on the car, which is good. So as you can see, this O-ring it's not just like an O-ring. It's like a actual seal, because this has it's got kind of a retainer part on it. If I could get the camera to focus. Yeah, see how it kind of notched like that? It's kind of like that on there too, you know? So it's not like you could just get an O-ring. I mean, Diesel Machine says that you could put a 2.5 by like 10 millimeter O-ring or something on there. That's what he says you could use. Okay, I mean, if he says so, I guess. I don't know. I just kept mine on there because it did kind of sit in there nice and secure and have some good resistance. So I decided to keep it. So yeah, the way it goes back together is that ring stays on there, then that wafer goes in there like that, and then this wafer, which I broke during removal, you kind of screw it on in there like that. And then these two halves go together. You make sure to get your both sealing rings on there, and then yeah, it goes back together. Oh, I forgot to mention, getting the bolts out is a bit of a pain. So what I had to use, I went and bought one of these big. I just went to Home Depot, bought the biggest number 3 Phillips, and I soaked it in PB Blaster. The good ALDA, the one that's on the car right now. I soaked in PB Blaster, let it sit for half an hour, and then I took my ratchet, pushed down on it nice and good like, and I was able to get it off, luckily, without stripping it. These, I had to drill through them, you know, and yeah, these are the remains of the bolts that I drilled out. Yeah, and I bought new bolts for it, which I didn't use because I was able to successfully keep the old ones out, and I'm one for originality. So, but I think these bolts are it. I didn't actually try it on, but the threads are correct. So it's just the angle and the depth. So I bought this M6 by 1 by 10 M&Ms. Again, I haven't actually tried it. I think that would work, judging by with how everything looks and how it's constructed. I think that maybe slightly taller of a bolt would do, but it is an M6 by 1.0 or whatever it was. Yeah, so I got it all back together. I put it on the car, the good one. And the reason why I broke it apart was because the adjustment screw is broken on this. Yeah, you know, I'm not gonna point fingers, but there is a person in the vicinity of this garage who is responsible for this. And by that I mean me. Anyway, so yeah, I used this old one to kind of steal the wafer off. I inspected it, made sure there was no cracks on it. And I was able to get all the good parts together. Once I got it back together, I hooked the vacuum line on it. Now the ALDA uses boost pressure, not vacuum, right, to function. But yeah, I hooked it on. Yeah, don't spray brake clean on this plastic because it'll do that. But yeah, I held vacuum on it, and it kind of goes down like that. It still holds, I kind of squeeze it like that, so it kind of acts like a fuel injector, during the leak down test. So it holds decent vacuum. I suspect it's leaking out that little O-ring, but anyway, I think it's definitely within tolerance, because now that's on the car works great. It gives the perfect amount of fuel. It's all adjusted and everything. It makes good power. So I'm not too concerned about it. But yeah. Yeah, it's pretty simple. The most difficult part about this job is getting those bolts out. Once those bolts are out, you're golden. Get the right tool for the job. What's the right tool? A big, 13, or not 13, a big Phillips on a ratchet, and a lot of downforce and PB blaster, and it should be all good. And yeah. Yeah, if you could find some kind of O-ring to fit in there, that would be nice. I guess I could show you the car. What it looks like on the car. The reason why I didn't just throw that other ALDA on the car, even though I don't know if it was good, if it did pass the bench test. But anyway, this one looks, the patina matches the injection pump. Why? Because this is the one that came off the injection pump. And as you can see, I got the adjustment on there. It's adjusted nice and perfectly. And I will be replacing these. These you can find on Pelican Parts. These banjo bolts with the plastic line on it. Yeah. Replace the washers, of course, for those banjo bolts, and you're all good. And that's about that. I adjusted the ALDA nice and good. Like I adjusted the idle, the rack damper pin, Bowden cable. The orifice is a This is Kent Bergsma's adjustable orifice tube. I got the updated vacuum modulator. The 722.4 modulator will fit on a 722.3 transmission. I don't know if that's a 722.1. Well, anyway, the black top modulator will fit on transmissions that take the green top modulator, the 722.3. And you can adjust it perfectly to spec, as I have on my car. So yeah, it is a compatible modulator, so don't freak out if you can't find the green one anymore. And yeah, so it's all good. Alright, well, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of advice. I didn't film the actual rebuilding because I don't know, I just didn't think to do so. I wasn't expecting it to actually be successful. I was just gonna keep the ALDA delete on. Yeah, I do have a Doomsday Diesel ALDA delete in there with the special wrenches to get the actual ALDA off. So in case I'm on like a road trip and the ALDA fails, I can do a roadside ALDA delete, if I need to. But until then, this ALDA is staying on because the car really does run better with an ALDA. If you have it adjusted properly, the car will have good throttle response, and it will perform, make good power and all that stuff without making excess smoke. And of course, if you go to Colorado or something, which I plan on doing in the summer, it's not going to be overfueling the hell out of held out of the engine when you're at high density altitudes, or pressure altitudes rather. So, yeah. Alright, well, thanks guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And, yeah. I don't care if you like, comment, or subscribe. I'm still gonna make these videos. I do intend on making a review video of this car, long-term ownership review video, soon. It's, you know, soon. Yeah. You know, I recently put the bumper on the car. Yeah, let me just make sure. Okay, I'm just all good. Yeah, I just put a different bumper on the car. I painted it, and it turned out really well. It's a little dirty, but you know, it turned out pretty darn well. I got some paint from, you know, a shop that makes paint, and yeah. Okay, I gotta clean and organize the garage a little bit. Okay, all right. Thanks for watching.